Hi, everyone. It's great to be here virtually. I know usually we are in person, but for now, we hope this is as helpful as it can be. We'll still structure it as we have with similar workshops where we'll show the video and then I'll go through the parish manual and we will have some time for some Q&A. I will ask that you answer questions as they come up, but I will answer all of the questions at the end. So there is a little box on the side to answer any questions, and then we will respond to all at the end. Also, just a reminder, we will be recording this, so if you do have to step away, we'll send the link afterwards so you can show it to other people, you can pick up where you left off, whatever works for you. So before we get started with the parish manual, I will introduce this year's video.
Being back in Philadelphia as Archbishop has been an incredible experience. Our local church is full of people and places near to my heart, including St. Charles Borromeo Seminary. My years at St. Charles were instrumental to my formation as a priest.
So I entered the seminary at St. Charles right after graduating high school. So I went right in. I'm what you would call a lifer.
It wasn't until I got out of the military and went to college, and I had a deep sense of God's call. I didn't know where it was going to lead me, but I was asked to trust and to open my heart to that call.
It came to a point that I wanted to do more. And so I after Mass, after everybody's gone, I just looked up in the sky and in prayer, and I said, Lord, I want to do more for you. I don't know what that looks like to you.
St. Charles being the seminary that forms the deacons and priests for the diocese, I knew I would be getting a thorough, rigorous education.
Yeah, I feel St. Charles has prepared me in many ways.
One thing at the seminary that is necessary is time. It takes time to discern a call.
It was a long period of preparation, but it filled with a lot of really, really good support.
We're not only supported in our relationships with the priests, with other seminarians, but that it is Christ leading us.
It's the Lord who forms us. It's the Holy Spirit who shapes our hearts. And so the seminary's provided an atmosphere allowing the Holy Spirit to do his work.
It provided me an awesome community just by its nature, bringing other young men from around the country together.
And it's been a real blessing. I found a new brotherhood here, a brotherhood with a deep sense of mission.
The mission of the seminary, forming priests to serve the Church of Philadelphia, is vital to our archdiocese and the faith life of the people it serves.
There's many challenges for a young man to answer the call today.
You don't come to St. Charles with everything figured out.
The men here at the seminary are willing to follow the Lord's call, even when it's difficult.
When you allow God room in your life and give God permission to start to change your life, He really will. And I found that in my own life.
I know it's brought me great joy, and so I can't think of anything better than to share that joy in this world.
Just like very grateful for the gifts that you never really asked for. And I think that kind of sums up how I see the priesthood 1 year in.
As I reflect on the challenges that our communities and our world have faced in 2020, I am inspired by our seminarians and students as they continue to respond to God's call to serve. St. Charles Borromeo Seminary is not defined by its physical location. Rather, the seminary is a community with a spiritual mission that impacts all of us.
What they offer here is more than just courses. It's really transformative.
It really helped me as a person and also my family.
What I learned at St. Charles goes beyond just education. It's really formation. And I know that's more for seminarians or deacons, like it's a formation program, but being in the master's program, it has formed me fully as a human being, not just intellectually, but spiritually as well, that I then carry into the classroom, that I then carry into my marriage.
I stand in front of you a different person than what I was when I came in.
I didn't expect to grow so much in the seminary. And now I find that deeper spirituality that the Lord is trying to grow within me is leading me outwards to others and to lead others into a deeper life with Him.
Our seminarians and students of St. Charles are the Church's future priests, deacons, pastoral ministers, teachers, and so much more. As the seminary continues forward with plans for relocation from the Overbrook campus, we hold fast to our central mission and remain fully committed to all aspects of formation for our students and seminarians. The new campus will enrich our programs and bring renewed hope and enthusiasm to our Catholic community.
We have a tough job ahead of us in the church.
We need a good change in what we see today in our society.
The church needs our priests.
We need priests, and we need good quality priests, especially in the times where we are today.
Priests that live what they preach.
This is a place that you can say, we're going to send out men out there, the priesthood, we're going to send out the diaconatehood, and these guys are going to make a difference in society.
Your generosity allows St. Charles to provide our future priests, along with the religious and laity studying there, with the tools they need to be effective servants of the Lord and proclaimers of the gospel in our parishes, schools, and charitable ministries. I ask that you please support this year's St. Charles Borromeo Seminary Appeal.
I think it's a way to give thanks to the Lord for all that He's done in your life and help others to know Him in the future as well.
St. Charles Seminary remains strong for today, for tomorrow, for all of us. We are deeply grateful to faithful supporters like you. Your generosity makes possible the continued excellence of our programs so that our seminary will continue to stand as one of the Church's most valued treasures. Thank you for supporting our seminary.
All right, so that video, as you are used to in years past, will be sent to you for reference. All of the information that we're seeing today will be sent to you physically, as well as a digital copy that was in the email, and we'll also put a link in the FAQ on the side here. So if you just joined us, or if you're new to the appeal this year, my name's Emily Gambino. I'm the Senior Director of Partner Development with the Catholic Foundation of Greater Philadelphia. And also here, and he'll be kind of moderating any FAQ questions, is Connor Ames, and he's our project coordinator for the seminary appeal here with the Catholic Foundation of Greater Philadelphia. Both of us are resources to you throughout the year. Any questions that you have, any additional information you need, anything like that, you are welcome to reach out to us at any time. Obviously, as we kick off the appeal, your needs might be a little greater, but we are here year round. So we'll go ahead and get started, walk through the parish manual a little bit, and give you an idea of how the appeal timeline will go for the year. As I mentioned before, you are welcome to put your questions on the Q&A, I should say, on the side, and we will answer all questions at the end. So this year's materials all look very similar to the parish manual. As you saw in the video, the materials all look the same. We had to get a little creative with filming this year since COVID kind of jumped in the way of what we typically do, but we think it came out pretty well, even with just individual filming. And the new appeal website is live. So if you visit stcharlesseminaryappeal.org, you will see kind of all the new information. As we look through the parish manual, we always provide a prayer of St. Charles Borromeo. This is a wonderful tool to use. If you just need a little bit of something to talk about the appeal, this is a great resource to use to bring some spirituality to the appeal, and something that we like to provide every year. We'll start, with the highlights, which this year's appeal is very similar to years past. We do have that $3.5 million goal. Later in the fall, we will be sharing the annual report from the 2019-2020 appeal and show the results there. So we're hoping for another successful appeal with that $3.5 million goal. Parish targets, which is a little different than Catholic Charities appeal. There aren't new goals each year. And it's not, considered a goal, but we do like to provide the information to you as to where you were last year and where you are this year, just to help you as you talk to parishioners or however you choose to promote the appeal in your parish. This is always something that we like to provide a quick overview of the case for support. This information is in all of the appeal materials in some way. So each of these elements is highlighted in the appeal materials. You also saw that in the video. We do talk to seminarians. We like to have a master's student from the School of Theological Study, a deacon candidate from the School of Diaconal Formation, and a newly ordained priest, since we can kind of see the full circle transition from when they were a seminarian to now. I mentioned that you will be receiving this information that we are sharing now. You will receive that next week, or you should receive that to your parish, barring any unforeseen circumstances with the U.S. Postal Service. It will include the parish manual. It will include copies of the bulletin inserts. It will include a copy of the brochure for this year and the video. As in years past, you'll also receive a separate shipment that will include in-pew pledge forms, and those kind of take the place. We no longer send brochures separately, so you don't have to keep track of two things. It's all in one. So you will receive a supply of in-pew pledge forms as well. This year, we received feedback from parishes that they no longer have a place to post the poster. So we still want to make those available, but instead of sending them out to everyone, we want to provide them to you at request. So Connor will be providing those to anyone who needs them, and he'll be reaching out to see if you would like us to send you a poster. Again, we want to make sure that we're providing resources that are helpful to you instead of just sending you a bunch of things that you don't have a place to put. So that is one change to this year, is that the poster won't be automatically sent out, but we can send upon request, and we want to send to anyone who is able to use it. And you'll also be able to receive that USPS priority mail pack. The in-pew pledge form does have the address to the lockbox, and the parishioner can put a stamp on it and send it away. However, we know they very often put them in, a second collection basket if it's during a speaker weekend, or provided to the parish office. And any in-pew pledge forms that you receive, you can put in this USPS priority mail pack. As a reminder, this is the address for the lockbox. This is same from years past. As I mentioned, it's on the in-pew pledge form. It's also on any of the mailings. This is the envelope that it's sent to, and that goes straight to the bank just to make processing time as quick as possible. We will remind everyone each year to not send cash to the lockbox. It's always a good idea to not send cash through the mail. If you do receive cash, a solution that we have found to be helpful is to deposit that cash there and then send a check to the seminary appeal. And you can provide the donor's information if they provided it, and we'll process it accordingly. But we do want to be careful about sending cash through the post office, just to make sure it doesn't get lost, and then we'll have no way to trace it. I mentioned the in-pew response piece. Again, these will be sent to your parish. A supply will be sent to you. Similar design to last year, where it's an all-in-one piece. I know this is a little small, but we want to give you the picture. This is the information that you'll see, and the address is right here as well. So it can be, taken home, and someone can send it in later, or completed and sent to the parish office. A brief timeline. We find ourselves somehow in September. The speaker request forms were due earlier this month. If the last minute you are, still want to get in under the wire, please send that as soon as possible. Connor is working feverishly to get all those assigned. It's an undertaking, but we really feel it's incredibly vital to the appeal. We know the speakers are something that you look forward to, that parishioners look forward to. So we do want to make that a large part of this year's appeal as well. So come October, that's when speakers will be assigned to parishes, and we will be reaching out in October. So the speaker request forms are due in September, and you'll be hearing from us in October. Also, just recently, the initial mailing, which is kind of the pre-kickoff mailing, was sent to registered households in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. This is a letter from Archbishop Perez. This will be Archbishop's first letter on behalf of the seminary appeal. So that's kind of the first sneak peek at the appeal. And then, of course, as per normal, we really kick things off in November. So that's where we'll see another mailing, the kickoff weekend, the speaker and MP weekend, and a thank you weekend, which we'll go through in a little bit of further detail. We do send another letter at the end of the year to really capture those year-end gifts. And then March is another mailing, usually to give people a little time to recover after the new year begins. And then June, that is when the appeal concludes. As a reminder, this is kind of based on an academic year, so it is kind of that September to the June time period, just to go along and coincide with the academic year. We will, just to give it a cutoff point from a logistics perspective, we do cut off donations that are postmarked by June 30th, and those are counted towards the 2020-2021 appeal. Anything received after will still be counted and processed, but it will go towards the 2021-2022 appeal, which is scary to even say those years. But as I mentioned earlier, the Catholic Foundation of Greater Philadelphia has managed the seminary appeal for years. Each year we try to make it better. We know you all have a lot to do. The world around us, if this year showed us nothing else, changes drastically, and it can change rapidly. So we're here to really navigate those waters and help you wherever we can. I can't promise that I know what the future holds, but we will do our best to adapt and communicate with you if that changes anything relating to the seminary appeal. At any point in time, you are welcome to reach out to us. Our contact information is here. It is also on the last page of the manual. You are welcome to call just the main office, and someone will absolutely be able to help you. I know one big thing that parishes like to connect with us for is often parish data. That is still something that we are always happy to update, however is most helpful to you. So you are welcome to connect with us. We can put you in touch with our data team and find a process that works for you. We have some parishes who, when they send updates to envelope company, they include us just so we see it. We do understand that when parishioners get mailing or duplicates or, mailing for those who are no longer in the parish, they come to you, and we want to be sure that we're keeping your data as up to date, as accurate. But as a reminder, it is not something we just inherently have access to. You do have to provide us with the information. So that is one reason you can contact us. You can also just contact us with questions. You are welcome to have donors contact us directly. Any of your parishioners who have questions, please send them our way. And also any materials, anything related to the appeal, we are happy to help. If you're new to the appeal, we always like to provide a bit of an overview just for, some steps for a successful appeal. What we really want to do is storytelling. That's why we have the video and we have the brochures. The mailings throughout the year, while they do come from Archbishop Perez and Bishop Senior, we also like to include letters from seminarians and from recently ordained priests, really to continue that storytelling, and anything that we can give to you to help continue to tell that story, we are happy to do. That's the reason people give. It's really pulling at their heartstrings. As the pastor, personalizing the message for parishioners is incredibly important. For many of you, this is your alma mater, so you're very connected and affiliated to it. If that's not the case, or if you feel more comfortable having a seminarian speak, that's also important. But personalizing the message is wonderful. Your parishioners know you, they value kind of the product of the seminary, and now you can really flaunt that. Thanking donors is incredibly important. That's something that we always want to do. So while yes, donors receive a thank you note, we also want to thank donors throughout the year. So as I mentioned, we do provide an annual report later in the fall, which is really just a big thank you to donors for what the past year was able to accomplish. And then keeping the appeal in front of the parishioners. This is what we do, with those MPU pledge cards, the bulletin announcements, or the bulletin inserts that we provide, and all of the information on the next few pages. That's what we want to do, just to really keep it in front of parishioners, even when a mailing isn't going out. It's wonderful to coincide the bulletin inserts or anything you're doing with mailings, but it's also just nice to talk about it throughout the year. And then leading the parish in prayer for the success of the appeal. Again, we provide some prayers of the faithful. The prayer for the appeal is on earlier in this packet. Making it spiritual. This is the reason that people contribute. This is what makes St. Charles unique. There are many higher ed organizations. This is a very special and very unique institute. So anything we can do to incorporate prayer is also incredibly important. Kickoff weekend will take place November 7th through 8th. For each of the kind of important weekends in November, we like to provide you with a quick snapshot. So we lay out the objectives, we lay out some sample prayers of the faithful, we provide some pulpit and bulletin announcements, and even some social media content. Again, we'll do that for each of the following weekends. Kickoff weekend is really just to get things excited. November is a very big month for the seminary appeal, as you'll see in the coming weekends. So this is really when we hope, if you want one of those posters, you're displaying the poster, you're showing the appeal video. If it's not possible to show it during Mass, it's really helpful if you have an email to share the link. It is very helpful to share it on social media, whatever you need to do to share that. And of course, take advantage of the prayers of the faithful and the information we provide here. Then we have speaker weekends, which take place November 14, 15, 21, 22, or 28, 29. Those are the requests that you put in. So you might have requested a specific weekend. We do everything in our power to accommodate not only the weekend you request, but also the speaker that you request. So whatever your weekend ends up being, this is kind of, again, those quick tips that you can utilize to make the most of the weekend. Of course, we want you to use the in-pew response pieces anytime you have a speaker, since that's such a tangible response to the speaker that they just heard. Using a bulletin insert is wonderful, or mentioning it in the bulletin in a way, we find a lot of people will use the bulletin as a way to kind of introduce their seminary appeal speaker. Anything you can do to really make it personal and share that story. Again, we include our prayers of the faithful, some bulletin announcements, and social media content. This is something that you can absolutely take and adapt for whatever you feel your parishioners will respond to, but we want to give you a starting point. And also, if you want any additional information, something that is a little bit unique, you're welcome to reach out to Connor or myself, and we can likely draft that for you. Thank you weekend is also something we want to definitely make use of. I know I mentioned earlier, thanking everyone is incredibly important, but especially, if you've done a kickoff and a speaker weekend, understanding that people have likely responded very generously. A thank you where, you're sharing your gratitude for the support that they've shown and for the generosity that has been shown to the appeal. Again, you're welcome to see how your parish is faring, and Connor, and it's also on the website, can provide kind of the status of your parish total, so you can truly see and share with parishioners just how much the parish community came together to support the appeal. So again, prayers of the faithful, bulletin announcements, and social media content that you are welcome to utilize. We know that, keeping the appeal in front of the parishioners is something we recommend. So in addition to, the November, which is heavy with the seminary appeal, we also want to provide you with some content and some information that you can use throughout the year. These are just recommendations. Use them as bulletin announcements or social media posts, whatever, works best for you. And again, if there's something unique, something special that you're really thinking would be impactful, you are welcome to reach out. We can provide some recommendations based on your unique needs, but these are always here and available for you. So you can, copy and paste without thinking about it and still keep it in front of parishioners as much as possible. That is the parish manual in a nutshell. That's the appeal in a nutshell. I definitely want to open it up for Q&A. I know sometimes it takes a little bit. Perhaps you need to think on it and contact us after. That's where, like I said, you are welcome to reach out to us at any time. Our information is always here, but I'm going to turn it over to Connor. If any questions have come through, obviously you are welcome to type them now if you have any questions. So Connor, please let us know if anything came through. Also a reminder, we have recorded this and we will be sharing that with you. So if you were not able to, maybe you came late, or if someone you want to share this with, we'll have this available after the fact as well. Connor, were there any questions that came in?
So far, there haven't been any questions so far. But there is that few second delay, so we can wait a few seconds for people to type out any questions.
Absolutely. So feel free on the side, there's that Q&A, type that in. You'll see a link to the PDF of the parish manual. This is helpful. This is the same information you received in the email from Connor. Give everyone just, another minute to see if you have any questions. As I mentioned, just a reminder, you will be receiving kind of your parish packet, which is some of the information you would receive in person. Again, sad that we can't be in person, but for now, we're grateful for the technology that we have that can make this possible. Doesn't look like any questions are coming in. If you still need to think on it, please don't hesitate. Contact us after the fact. I appreciate everyone who joined us live. Anything that you need to do to share this message or any questions that you have after the fact, please don't hesitate to reach out. Our contact information is on the back here and all throughout. You're also just welcome to call the main office line and we will absolutely get answers. But otherwise, I appreciate everyone for taking the time. We're excited for another successful appeal year, and we can't wait to see what 2020, 2021 holds. Hopefully it's a little better than the beginning of 2020, but we will see. Thank you, everyone.
So, Emily, there's a couple questions.
Okay.
So one person said they can't put the materials in the church, so the infused materials cannot be utilized yet.
Okay. So definitely reach out to, it looks like that might have been anonymous. So you can definitely reach out to Connor if you would like us not to send the materials, or if you hold off, if you can put them someplace else. Let us know whatever would work best for you.
Yeah. And there's another question is with the seminary, we know the seminary will be relocated.
So that is something that obviously we get the information as soon as you do from the seminary. There is a tab on the Seminary Appeal website. It's stcharlesseminary.org/future plans. That is actually in the brochure because we know it's a recurring question, and this is really the frequently asked questions that we have about the relocation and affiliation. There still are, when Mainline Health purchased the property, there were, about 5 years for the seminary to move. So we're within those 5 years, but I do know they're still, looking for potential sites for the construction of the new seminary and potential partners. So that is still a work in progress. The seminary, the scs.edu website has as much information as possible, and we share that information on the Seminary Appeal website. I don't have any hard dates or hard facts, but as soon as we know, you'll know.
And another question is that I can type in on here is that when it Heed the Call, I can put up the Heed the Call website to find out more information on that. One last question from Chuck Kane. He's asking where will the info sent to? I believe it's all of the parishes.
Yes, so if the question is about hard copies, that is sent to the parish address that we have on file. That is just that main parish address that would have received materials in the past. As far as digital information, whatever information was put on the response form for the workshop is where Connor will send things digitally. If you're not sure, if you've not gotten an email from Connor, if you're not sure where that information is, reach out to Connor and he can definitely get you email information as quickly as possible.
And that's all the questions I have from here.
All right. Wonderful. So perfect. Thank you, Connor. He provided the Heed the Call website. Yeah, Heed the Call is directly, a close relative, but a little bit separate from the Seminary Appeal. So going to their website would be a good step to take to provide information there. We can also make a connection with the vocations office if that's, something that you're interested in. All right, now we will actually end this time. Again, any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask. We're available at any time. I appreciate everyone's time and we look forward to a successful appeal year.
Thanks, everyone.